Welcome to the live streaming from CGTN. I'm reporter Wang Siwen in Shanghai. Well, starting from today, China relaxes its policies on entry and exit. Well, for the next 2 hours, my colleagues and I will bring you the latest report from 4 locations, where I'm currently at Shanghai Pudong International Airport, and also Beijing Capital International Airport, and Futian checkpoint in Shenzhen, and also Ruili city in southern China's Yunnan province, to give you the latest report. Well, starting from today, January 8th, all the on-arrival PCR tests and central quarantine are not required for the inbound travelers. Well, I'm currently at the Shanghai Pudong International Airport, and actually I was here like hours earlier and witnessed like the first arrival of the first international flights flying to Shanghai this morning, and it's from New Zealand. It's from New Zealand, Auckland, and to Shanghai. And the first batch of travelers say actually they feel pretty relieved and happy to see all the procedures are so much more convenient right now. And right now we are at the arrival areas, and for this morning gonna have like 5 more international flights, and right now it's showing on the screen, and we will see more family members and friends to pick up their loved ones. And just give more details about the latest policies. The inbound travelers are required to take a PCR test like 48 hours before departure and can travel to China only if the results are negative. And the on-arrival PCR test and the central quarantine are cancelled. And travelers who have a fever will get antigen tests on the spot. And for those who test positive can choose to quarantine at home. Well, you can see around me actually this year is the 2023 and the year of the rabbit, and this airport has been decorated with a lot of elements related to the rabbit and also the art installations. They have prepared like flowers and other really cute stuff. And I have talked to the staff before. Those are some direct products from the Yu Garden, Yuyuan, which is like a iconic place in Shanghai. And those are like hand lotions and a money box, and also a red packet for the upcoming Chinese Spring Festival. And so the Chinese Spring Festival is right around the corner, and actually the Spring Festival travel rush has already started, and from January 7th to February 15th. And you can see they are selling some like Spring Festival related stuff. Those are like the White Rabbit milk candy. White Rabbit brand is like the regional founded in Shanghai and has a history of over 60 years. And we also got the information like to prepare for the January 8th, like the no on-arrival PCR test, and the central quarantines are required in the for the inbound travelers. The airport has dismantled all the barriers, and also the catering spaces and convenience shops have been reopened, gradually reopened to the public. And for those currently in the central quarantine has received a PCR test yesterday, and for people who test positive can choose to be quarantined at home or go to the hospital, and for those who test negative are free to go. And the Shanghai Pudong Airport also dismantled the barriers and the checkout points for COVID, and will restore the regional signs on passenger movement lines. The commercial and the catering and other service facilities will be recovered as well. And we are seeing one of the passengers, I guess, is from like an early morning flight. So for this morning, I have been here for a few hours already. For this morning, there's one flight from like Detroit, United States, and to Shanghai, as with a stopover in South Korea. And the flight actually arrived around like 6 a.m. and around 6:30 a.m. And there's also another flight from New Zealand, and that's the first international flight today in Shanghai Pudong International Airport, with a lot of people waiting outside to witness like this special moment. And also a lot of families and friends are waiting to see their loved ones. And you can see here the Shanghai Pudong Airport is getting busier, and I have talked to the staff of the airport. They estimated the Shanghai Pudong and Hongqiao airports will have over 66,000 flights and 6.5 million passengers. Well, in January, the flight volume and the passenger flow are expected to increase by over 40% month on month. And the domestic travel is picking up again, and the travel with the hashtag where to travel around next year on China's Weibo has gained close to 80 million views since late December. And data from Chinese online travel agencies Ctrip and Qunar, which have both reported significant increases in bookings and searches for flights to Sanya, a popular resort city on the Hainan Island. And right now we are at the Shanghai in Pudong International Airport, and you can see around me there are some decorations related to the year of 2023, and the year of 2023 is the year of a rabbit. So the airport has prepared some toys, cute stuff related to like this festive atmosphere to give like all the passengers the warm feeling of heading home. And we have seen over there they have prepared like some goods to sell, like the hand lotions or the small gifts, and also local snacks and candies for the inbound travelers to give them the feeling of heading home. And on this side, on my left side, all the shops, bakeries, and convenience stores have reopened. More stores will gradually reopen to the public as well. And according to the data from Ctrip, the online searches for outbound flights and hotels overseas jumped to 3-year high. And on the final days of 2022, the popularity of cross-border travel during the Spring Festival was even higher, with bookings increasing by over 260% year on year. And around them, Macau, Hong Kong, Japan, Thailand, South Korea, United States, and the United Kingdom were among the website's top 10 destinations. And we can see the airport is getting more and more travelers and checking the flight information. So for the later today, we're going to have at least 5 international flights flying into the Pudong International Airport in Shanghai. And those are the domestic flight informations. So as we know, the city of Shanghai has 2 airports, Hongqiao Airport and the Pudong International Airport. And the Hongqiao Airport take more about domestic flights, and Pudong Airport is in charge of more international flights. Well, today I talked to more travelers, and they told me the relaxed policies they are welcomed by many travelers, especially Chinese students studying overseas and those working overseas, for those who could not afford high flight ticket prices and also the long hotel quarantines. And talking about Shanghai, the city has the largest number of international companies in China, and the relaxing travel measures can boost business communications as well. And when I talk to some travelers today, and some have some wishes, they wanted the flight tickets prices to be lower, back to the back to the former pre-pandemic levels, and some hope to have more international flights scheduled, so they don't have any problems to book a flight. Some say their flights have been cancelled for a few times, and they also hope the losing policies will attract more international visitors. Well, that's pretty much from Shanghai Pudong International Airport. Well, later, my colleague Zheng Yibing is standing by at the Beijing Capital International Airport, and my colleague Huang Fei is standing by at the Futian checkpoint in Shenzhen, opening quarantine-free policies with Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. And my colleague Yang Jinghao is a standby at Ruili city, which shares a long border with the country of Myanmar. And I will leave you with the live footage of the arrival area of the Pudong International Airport. Bye for now. OK， 谢谢。好了，好了，好了，好了。
We know is in China from today, the inbound travelers will no longer go through the quarantine. They take the nucleic acid test upon their arrival. So this is a very big day. And now we can see the personnel are making the preparations here during the immigration inspection points. And take a look, this morning we took the shuttle bus from the central part of the airport to the Terminal 3, and especially in this part. And according to the personnel here, the inspection and the work today, and they have increased 12 tunnels, and especially for those who people, or the elderly, the children and the women, and those who are in need of help, especially those in illness, they will get the special support during the immigration inspection. And just like the Shanghai Pudong International Airport, the Beijing International Airport is a very key airport in the city. They're back to almost 3 years ago, in March 10, 2020. I did report around this airport and their quarantine site neighboring this airport, that is the new Beijing International Exhibition Center. Well, that is an unforgettable memory. But after the 3 years, China has made the full assessment based on the current situation of the pandemic and also the variants. And according to the expert from the National Health Commission, they made the change. Starting from today, the inbound travelers no longer have to undergo quarantine or take the nucleic acid test upon arrival at the airport or in other such gateways across China. So let's take a look. They're making the preparations for the first international flight. And today, there's several, multiple flights from other parts of China and also across the world. And upon their arrival, they will be guided here. And those who from the foreign other countries, they would get through this part. And for Chinese nationals, they would guide to the other part. Once they get through the inspection, they would take the shuttle bus to the city. And we know 48 hours ahead of the departure, they need to take the acid test and prove the result is negative. And when they arrive here, so everything is okay, and they could get off the airport freely. So Beijing International Airport is really large one. There were two in Beijing. This is the oldest one, and from their appearance, it also looks very modern and very fashion. So follow me in this way. And the airport outside the Terminal 3, we can see they're taking off the landing of the flights. So some of my colleagues and from other news agencies, they're getting ready for the first flight. So that's the basic information here in the Beijing Capital International Airport. Let's wait for the international flights coming in and away.
there. Hello. Welcome to the CGTN live stream, and I'm reporter Huang Fei. I'm standing in the checkpoint, the Shenzhen Futian checkpoint, and behind me is just a few meters away. That's Hong Kong on the other side, and as you can see, people from Hong Kong are coming in today since 6:30 this morning. That's when the border opens. For the first time in 3 years, people are able to come in here without going through quarantine. And so, you can actually feel the excitement from a lot of the travelers here. People are carrying their bags. They're, obviously a lot of them are here coming to see their families. A lot of work obviously has to go into getting everything up and running again after 3 years of hiatus. So to help us go through what's been done, I have a guest with us today. She's one of the captains of the border inspection team, Mrs. 丽露。丽露老师先给我们的外国网友们打声招呼。
嗨，大家好。
丽露老师，那我们往前走吧。So it's been a really busy day, as we can see. We're trying not to bump into people here. So we're walking towards some check-in lanes. 我们往前走，那丽露老师给我们介绍一下前面这些是一个什么样的一处？
现在大家看到的这边呢是我们的快捷通道。现在在我们现场呢，出入境两个方向各有约50条快捷通道。
让我来翻译一下。So, you're looking at a few check-in lanes. These are 快捷通道. So the fast check-in lanes, they're automated largely, so people can just scan their travel pass and they can cross within seconds. And there are 共有50条是吧？大概50条。Right. There are about 50 of these fast check-in lanes on each side. So this is all, designed to increase the efficiency of check-ins. But I think we're seeing a little bit of backup here. This is the first day of opening. Obviously, people still need, to sort of get ready, get adjusted to the systems here. 那丽露老师，那我们旁边还有一些别的通道那我们再往前走。今天这个人还是挺多的，我知道您最近都特别忙。
是的，一直都在口岸这边。
Our team has been busy for the past few days getting things ready. 但其实虽然3年没有接旅客其实刚才跟您聊天也了解到，其实您的工作一直也都没有停止。
是的。
大概说一下。Okay, so in the interest of time, let's sort of go in to see the other lanes. Right, so we're being directed to sort of go the long way. There are a lot of it kind of feels like a maze here. There are a lot of screens kind of dividing traffic, making sure that people are coming in an orderly fashion. Even during the pandemic, when this border was not open, the staff here has been checking, has been working and training, and is also sort of letting through trucks that are providing our daily essentials, including vegetables and pandemic relief materials. So, it's not like they've been not doing anything for 3 years. So, but right now, the priority, as you can imagine today, has been making sure that travelers are able to commute on both sides without a hitch. 所以我们现在来到的是一个人工的通道。
对，那这一侧呢，就是我们的人工查验通道。在我们的出境、入境两个方向呢，各有人工查验通道，约30余条。我们也会根据客流的情况呢，及时的调整、增开警力， 为旅客提供一个高效、舒适的通关环境。那广大出入境旅客呢，也可以按照自己的喜好去选择适合他们的通关方式。是的，是有30余条。对。
So Ms. Lee was saying that we just saw a lot of automated check-in lanes, but on this side you just saw more than 30 manual lanes. That's for mostly, I think, people who are traveling in groups and people who perhaps prefer to go through the check-ins the traditional way. So it's really up to the travelers to choose whichever option that works for them. 好，那我们这边是这样的一个情况。看到其实昨天到很晚的时候都还有在做准备，又在搞卫生。最近的这个年关将近了，是不是大家也就是也预测到这个人流量会比较大。So 我们也可以再介绍一下就是前期的一些准备工作。Right now, actually, our guest has been asked to help out some of the passengers. Right. 那一直其实我也留意到，很多乘客会找您，就是有一些疑问会问到您。今天就是您遇到的一些主要的一些疑问，或者是旅客的一些感兴趣的需要提问的是什么？需要帮助的
其实呢，我们在前期呢也是做了很多的工作，就是希望就是对检查员，然后对民警都是进行了反复的一些培训，包括这些实际的一些演练，就是希望我们也是能以最佳的精神状态去投入到复关工作中去，为旅客提供一个舒适的环境。
That's right. So as I said, the training has never stopped, and especially for the opening today, they've been training all relevant staff to make sure the traffic has been going through. Well, some people might be wondering why there's no people. Well, because we're in an area where this is not the main entrance area. This is the sort of check-in space. I think right now we're walking towards the main passage from Hong Kong. And in a few minutes, I think you'll be able to see more travelers. Again, of course, right now we have a daily cap of 50,000 people being allowed to sort of cross on each side. So. And 35,000, the majority of this quota has been given to this Futian checkpoint. And 35,000 is still a very small number compared to the usual amount, right? Pre-pandemic, this checkpoint alone handles up to 300,000 people daily. So this is just the beginning of a long road to, well, probably not long, but like. It's the beginning to normalcy. So, I think the systems here, the checkpoints and border staff still need a bit of time to sort of get adjusted to the usual traffic. And I think the way this place is designed is also to avoid crowding as well. So, I think it's quite normal to see that some places are a bit more empty. 那刚才有一些网友说，怎么人不是很多？那
因为刚刚
分流的措施。
对，因为它是不同的时段，不同的人。我们在前期的话也是根据，也都是对这个客流进行了一个科学的预测，然后提高了用警的这个效率，并且备足了。执勤的警力，希望就是能给广大出入境旅客提供这样一个快捷的通关。
Thank So again, to follow up on the question why there wasn't a lot of people where we came from, Ms. Li is saying that they had a lot of measures put in place to divide traffic, to make sure, for instance, people are coming in from different time slots so that they're not crowding, they're not coming in at the exact same time. And they're also putting in place a lot of staff to make sure that travelers in need are being attended to. So this is all, a great preparations being done beforehand. And they obviously had an idea of how many people that would come across, that would come over on the first day of the travel. But in the coming days, we do expect more crossings to open. I think right now, a lot of people coming in actually are still not quite familiar with the process. So I think we're going to ask Ms. Li as well to give us some ideas. 那今天的有留意到有一些旅客，包括会想问一些问题，然后可能大家也有一些不太适应的地方。咱们有什么温馨提醒吗？
那在此呢，也温馨提醒广大出入境旅客，在出行前呢，一定要认真检查自己的出入境证件、签证签注的有效期，看看是否有效。如果有疑问呢，也可随时拨打12367国家移民管理局服务热线去咨询。
So we actually have a hotline 12367. That's the hotline for the immigration authority. So if you have any questions about coming in to the mainland and vice versa, you can call this hotline and ask away. Of course, Ms. Li is reminding everybody to check your visa. Make sure your visa has not expired. If it's expired, you need to apply for a new one. And if you're not a resident on either side, you need to apply for a slot. At least in the beginning, in the first phase of opening, you need to apply for a slot to travel in. And as I said, there is a daily capacity, a daily quota of 50,000 people who are allowed to travel on each side. So there's plenty of places to do this. 那也有就是大家进来的时候也要先在网上做一个就是做一个申报，然后要有一个二维码是吗？是有这样的一个步骤。
对，在这大家可以去如果有疑问，任何疑问可以去打电话去咨询。对，24小时在线。
So the hotline I mentioned is 24 hours. Right now there's a QR code that you need to obtain before coming in. Right. It's just a mini app on WeChat, I believe, where you can fill in some details. Of course, you also need to you also need to provide a negative PCR test done within 48 hours for departure. And just to give an update on people who have just tuned in, I am at the Shenzhen Futian checkpoint. This is 就有一些网友刚刚才进来，那想问一下我们现在在哪个地方？我们大概也介绍一下我们这个点。
我们是在深圳的福田口岸。我们对，现在在这里的是入境大厅。
Right. So we are right now at the Shenzhen Futian checkpoint, the arrival hall. If you're looking at people coming in from Hong Kong into Shenzhen. And the Futian checkpoint, as you can see, is quite a popular checkpoint. As I said, it's been given 35,000 of those 50,000 quotas, the majority of the quotas. And so why is this one of the most popular points? Because it's a very convenient one. 这个口岸其实大家很多都是首选，因为它很方便，它是市中心。
对，它是一个地铁口岸，大家交通非常便利啊。过了关就可以去乘坐地铁，也可以去乘坐 公交啊、打出租车，其实是非常便利的。所以是平时也有很多人经常通过我们的口岸是过来旅游购物。
This is a very convenient checkpoint. That's why many people actually choose this crossing. This is the only one in the city center of Shenzhen with direct access to the subway line. You could cross this border, cross the inspection point. And over there, just a few steps away from those inspection points, is the entrance to the subway. So you could just hop on the train straight away and get into Shenzhen. 那谢谢李老师，那您先去忙。Right. Thank you, our guests, for the introduction. So this has been a very exciting time. We were here yesterday, actually. We were here last night, checking on the preparation work. And you know, things look very, very different today. Up till yesterday in the very late hours, some renovations were still happening, including on currency exchange, Bank of China outposts, just making sure that people that need to convert their currencies are able to do so. And you know, we're still looking at more people coming in from Hong Kong. And again, they are able to apply for a time slot to come in if they're not a resident on the mainland. So if you're applying for a slot, remember that you know, you don't have to do it if you are just making a return journey back to your home city. Last time I checked, there are still some spots open actually for the next few days. But about, I think, 31,000 out of the 35,000 spots have been taken up. And you know, there's so much demand, so much interest for coming into to the mainland. You can still see that behind me. Apparently, you know, in the first hour of the online booking system on the Hong Kong side opened, the system actually crashed because there's just so much traffic. And within a few hours of the services resuming, 250,000 people in Hong Kong had applied for places to come into the mainland. And I think by yesterday afternoon, almost 500,000 people, 400,000 people in Hong Kong have applied to come here. So in the coming days, we're expecting more travelers to come in, and more travelers to go out the other side as well. You know, this is in the lead up to the Chinese New Year, so an exciting time for families to finally reunite, and of course for business people who have been eager to meet their partners and have meetings across the border. This is a great time to do that as well. So, and I think that's all for me for at this moment. And before we go to the other checkpoint, let's just have a quick look. Let's have a better look at the checkpoint and just do some people watching.
The Ruili city in southwest China's Yunnan province. The city shares a long border with Myanmar. Today is a special day as China eases border crossings and reopens some land ports. Where I'm now is just the Ruili port. It's the largest land port between China and Myanmar. Earlier, my colleagues reported from Shanghai, Beijing, and Shenzhen. They brought us the latest. From their report, we can learn that actually with the policy shift of the COVID-19 pandemic control, passengers can enter China in an easier way from Shanghai and Beijing International Airports. We can learn that people don't have to undergo PCR, don't have to receive PCR testing upon arrival, and don't have to undergo quarantine. And from Shenzhen, we also know that we can travel between the mainland and Hong Kong Special Administrative Region in a much easier way. And today is here in Ruili, we can see. From here, we can see a lot of people are gathering here, including local residents and tourists from different parts of the country. They're gathering here to witness the special moment. We know that this port is the largest land port between China and Myanmar, but it was temporarily closed in March 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So it's been almost 3 years since it was temporarily closed for the sake of pandemic control. And from here we can see over there it's just the Musée of Myanmar. Yeah. You can see there's some people are walking on the street of Musée, and yeah, some motorcycles and cars are running on the streets of Musée. Earlier this morning, the immigration inspection station here just held a national flag raising ceremony to welcome the reopening of the port. Actually, there are 3 checkpoints in Ruili port. This one is known as the Jiegao National Gate. It's mainly for entrance and exit of people. And there are another 2 checkpoints, which are mainly for entrance and exit of motorcycles and trucks carrying goods between the 2 countries. Yeah, as I mentioned, a national flag raising ceremony was held very early this morning, and then the immigration inspection officers just declared the reopening of the border, and they started working. And we just saw that some people, mainly the Myanmar nationals, just went back home after going through related procedures in the immigration inspection station here. People are excited, and we can see some people are sharing this special moment here through live streams. They're telling they're telling their friends, telling people the latest situation here in Ruili through live stream. Yeah, as you can see, actually the Jiegao National Gate, where we are now, is a landmark of the city of Ruili. It attracts a lot of tourists, and yeah, many people are taking pictures here. It's actually a long-awaited day for many people, especially those seeking business and job opportunities in each other's country. I just talked to a woman from Myanmar who works in Ruili city, and she was going home today. Yeah, just the first day when the border was reopened. She told me that she was excited. That she couldn't wait to reunite with her family. She said she loves her stay in China, but yeah, it's been too long since she last met with her family members. So she just decided to went back home on the first day when the border was reopened. We can see many visitors are gathering here. They are taking pictures, doing live streams here. They want to record the special moment and share the moment with more people from different parts of the country. Let's try to talk to some of them. 你好，让你一下。你好，先生。请问您是本地的吗？还是
不是
游客？
对，
从哪里来？
从厦门。
厦门。
对。
哦，那今天是专门到这边来，看这个国门重新开放。
是的，是的，是的。
啊，有什么感受？几点来的？
激动嘛，都等着，大家都是等着这个国门开嘛。也想过去，他们也想过来，反正。
如果有机会，你想过去看看吗？
要。
This gentleman is from the city of Xiamen. He just came here to witness the special moment, and he said he's excited to see the border is reopening, and he said he would like to travel to Myanmar if there's an opportunity. 在瑞丽待多久了？3年。3年。
对。
哦。Yes, actually, 你是在这边做生意是吧？
对。
那就是说，你觉得这个开放对你们来说是不是一个比较利好的消息？
那是啊，我等了3年了。
你在这边主要从事什么生意？
玉米，农产品。
农产品进出口吗？
对，也不是进出口，也有点生意，有一点贸易。
那跟缅甸那边有
有点来往。对。
你是从那边进口玉米还是怎么着？
对，进口。
所以这个对你们来说是一个非常利好的消息。
是的。
Actually, this gentleman has lived here for 3 years. He's from the city of Xiamen, and he's doing import-export business in Ruili city. He mainly imports corns and other farm produce from Myanmar. So it's a great news. It's great news that the border reopens, and this will bring them a lot more opportunities. 好，谢谢您，先生啊，希望您的事业顺利在这。好的。Actually, the city has experienced a very difficult time, a very difficult period of time during the past 3 years. And it has experienced several lockdowns. So for local people, it's great news that the border reopens and the city is regaining vitality. 两位好，能跟你们聊一下吗？你们是从哪里过来的？
我们也是从中国过来的。
从中国，不是？你平时是在哪里？是在瑞丽吗？
对呀，在瑞丽。
啊，今天怎么样？这个国门开了，你们心情感觉如何？心情感觉如何？
可能是还没有办那个什么，那个红书嘛，我们要盖进来那个，可能还没有。
你们是想出去吗？
出去等几天，我们也出去了。
就是你们之后也有计划出去是吧？
等情况稳一点、好一点，我们也出去了。
还在观望一下。
对呀。
所以高兴吗？今天这个开了。
高兴啊，很高兴的，终于等到了。
你们之前是经常会往返吗？
我们都来来回回的，经常。
你是中国人是？
缅甸的。
缅甸的。
对。
This lady is from Myanmar, and she just works in the city of Ruili, and she said she's excited to see the border reopens, and she said she will go back home. Yeah. In just a few days, she will go back home in just a few days. You can see they are very excited, and they are just taking pictures here. 好，谢谢，谢谢。We just mentioned that actually Ruili shares a long border with Myanmar, and actually before the pandemic, approximately some 100,000 Myanmar nationals live really just seek job opportunities here. So the reopening of the border will definitely promote the bilateral trade and also people-to-people exchanges. And actually, we just arrived in the city 2 days ago, and we visited some local markets, business centers, and we can feel that the city is really regaining vitality. As we just said, that the city has experienced a period of difficult time during the past 3 years, and here in this area, in the Jiegao area, you can see actually some stores have opened while some still remain closed. Let's check out this shop. Actually, this shop sells jewelries, mainly jade. Actually, we know that the city of Ruili is called a city of jade because we know that Myanmar is the world's largest source of jade, and since the city shares a long border with Myanmar, so it's just the country's largest jade trading hub. 你好，老板。你好。我们看一下您的店哈。所以咱们这主要是卖些翡翠产品是吧？
翡翠产品。
这两天生意怎么样？就是客流各方面怎么样？有变化吗？
可以，
还可以。有个什么样的变化？
现在没变化，现在都是恢复跟以前一样的。
我意思就是说，最近您顾客会多一些吗？
多一点呢。
多一点。
疫情过后了，解放了，那个好一点。
所以你们在这开了多少年了？
我在这边是30多年了。
30多年了。一直是在做这方面生意。
在做翡翠生意。
所以，那您的这个店有多少年了？
我原来是在那边做美睫，现在在这边有15年了。
那 this gentleman says he has been doing jade business in Ruili city for some 30 years, and he said he's seen a great number of customers in the past month as the country relaxed its COVID-19 pandemic control. Yeah, they sell all kinds of jade products. 所以老板，我们知道今天国门也开了嘛，所以对下一步就是你们这个生意复苏各方面是否有信心？
有信心，我守边境已经疫情守了3年了，
是吧？3年一直在这儿是吧？
都是一直在这边呢。
Okay. He said he's confident for the booming of their business as the border reopens. 好，我们在外面看一下，谢谢你啊。Yeah, the city of Ruili is the country's largest trading hub of jade. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. 那个就去了去看一眼吧。Okay. Yeah, this. Okay, dear friends, in case you just tuned in, we're now live streaming from Ruili City in southwest China's Yunnan province. The city shares a long border with Myanmar, and where we are now is the Ruili port, the largest land port between China and Myanmar. You can see many people are gathering here today as the port reopens following some 3 years of closure suspension due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And now where we are now is a duty-free store. Let's go and check it out to see how business is like here in recent weeks since China adjusted its COVID-19 pandemic control policy. It's one of the duty-free shops here in the area called Jiegao in Ruili. 你好。您是这里的？
这边商场经理。
商场经理。Okay, she's the manager of the duty-free shop. 咱们这个店开了最近就恢复营业有多久了？
我们是12月8号正式恢复营业的。
OK。
对，因为12月8号整体都解封了嘛。12月8号正式营业的。
OK。They resume operation officially resume operation on December 8th. 呀，那么最近这1个月以来，就刚好1个月啊，其实。
对，差不多刚好1个月。
啊，生意怎么样？有变化吗？客流各方面？
还是可以的，就是虽然说没有到就19年那个时候那么高的客流量，但基本上还是有很多客人还是过来的。第一，想过来看看国门。第二的话，我们这些商品的话，对于我们的老顾客的话，他们也是很需要的。
咱们这主要是一些什么商品？化妆品、
生活用品、家居用品，然后保健品、酒水、包包、衣服、食品，我们都有。基本上生活类涵盖的我们都有。
咱们各地进口的是吧？
对，就是全部都是各地进口的。
They mainly sell imported goods, including daily necessities, cosmetics. And yeah, some other daily necessities. And the manager told me that actually they're witnessing an increasing number of customers, visitors during the past month as the country relaxed the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions. 今天也是非常特别的一天，咱们国门也开了，应该对，所以你们就是对接下来这个生意各方面是不是也有一个比较好的一个期待？
还是非常期待的，因为我们之前就国门一直正常开放的时候，我们这边像有一些木姐的同胞，就是缅甸华侨呀这些，我们的顾客还是很多的，那一边的占比。我们也很希望他们可以尽快过来，然后就是恢复他们的就是这种消费冲动呀，这样子。
就是之前包括木姐那边的
对，
也会过来这边。
对，木姐那边的缅甸华侨同胞也是我们非常大的一个消费群体的。
The manager says as the border reopens, she is expected to see more customers, including those from Myanmar. Yeah. 好，谢谢您啊！
不客气。
祝你们生意兴隆，谢谢您。Okay. Actually, there are several duty-free shops here, and in normal times, they attract a lot of visitors. But during the past few years, they've seen much fewer visitors due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But as the restrictions ease, the whole area is expected to see more tourists. Actually, during the past 2 days, we visited some local markets, and we can see the city is actually regaining vitality. And some night markets are bustling with noise and excitement. Yeah, and many people say that they are confident that Ruili will return to normal as soon as possible. And we also interviewed some city government officials, and they say that they will try to promote the bilateral trade, work to promote bilateral trade and the people-to-people exchanges. So we believe that the city will become better and better, and we expect to see great vitality here in this border city. Now let's just take a look at a video we recorded earlier, and let's see how the city is regaining its vitality. Thank you.